Brady born in June 27th, 1954.
How do we show you that we miss you, regret not doing all we could have to keep you with us, part of us? There are so many good times that we remember. Pictures help. They take us back. You have one brother who has always been there for you. Sometimes you did some dumb things. You could be very silly. Or difficult. But there was always Scott. Teddy. Ted. He loved you more than any of us, and he showed it. Okay, you were the end of the line, for a little while anyway, but you fought back. You could make us laugh. You were fun. You could make us smile. Sometimes you could really make us laugh. And not just with your brothers. You had fun with all of your relatives. And just like the bond Ted made with you, you passed it on to Julie Ann. You understood what Julie would have to face, now being at the end of the line. You were her closest and best brother. But I'm going to shut up. Why don't you tell us your story, some of your memories?
Grandma, Hallie Ward Olander, we were afraid of her, all of us. Teddy and I stayed with her in Pittsburgh. That was a lot of fun. She put us on the trolley car in Pittsburgh. We'd ride up and down the trolley cars. Yeah, the Henry Street house. Kind of let us run loose in the big city of Pittsburgh. Go over to the Natural History Museum and play around with dinosaurs. I remember going to Forbes Field. We got box seats on the first base line, and they were folding chairs. So we were that close. The guy would get these folding chairs, dust them off. We could sit there, and we weren't. It seemed like we were 10 feet from the first baseman. So I remember seeing Roberto Clemente, right there playing first base. That was really fun because in Forbes Field you were really up close to the action, and every time you hit a home run, it was out of the park. Grandma was willing to babysit, and so we could know our grandmother. We also spent time down in Florida. I would go on the beach every morning and swim. I had time to myself, and when I was with Grandma, with her, it would be one-on-one time. I didn't really want to come home. I had just lived in this big city of Bangkok, and I was just learning Thai and Thai culture and finished high school there and was kind of dreaming, gee, I could live in this town, you know. And I was independent when in Thailand. I could go out and kind of do what I wanted to. I remember even my Thai mother complaining that why are you going out at night and coming home late, you know. And so it was a science-oriented school. So I would be sitting in these lectures, memorizing. Not once in class did any student ever ask a teacher, "Oh, gee, sir, would you please even repeat that?" Let alone say why. You know, it's just not accepted in the Asian culture. So I went back to Korea and right back into my 11th grade courses again. This was kind of strange. I hadn't seen these courses for 12 months. Allowed me to graduate without taking any 12th year courses. So it felt strange because I wasn't with my old classmates. I had spent this whole year in another culture. I didn't really feel close to my friends anymore. Actually, and then I developed another group of friends. I was in the honors classes, but I never hung out with them because they weren't cool. I hung out with these rowdy guys who were cool. So when I came back from Thailand, I just kind of felt alone. I don't think I was rebellious. Maybe you know, sometimes on weekends we get drunk. That was the thing to do. I remember I worked in a McDonald's. Worked long hours, closed the McDonald's. Worked the evenings as a cashier. And back then, you had to make the calculations in your head. You know, when people ordered the meal, I had to write it down, and they made us, you know, do all of the adding in our heads and come up with the right, you know, totals and the tax. And during the school week, I might work a couple nights a week. Why did I work? I don't know. I guess I valued economic independence. Maybe I felt like Dad was broke or too proud to take any money from him, or I wanted to be financially independent and have my own spending money. And my last year of high school, and I was working for VRC in a machine shop that I really liked. And I had taken the car, and I was with a girl all night. I didn't do anything with her. I just kind of fell asleep in her bedroom. But Mom and Dad thought this was outrageous, and I needed some discipline. So send Brady off to be with Warden Shirley. So at the end of my senior year, for maybe 2 months before I went into college, Shirley read me the riot act. She says, "No, we don't want any marijuana in here," because Mom must have told her stories that I was some pothead or something. Actually, it wasn't bad. I got to see the Olander family, and we were like the bust-up crew, tearing out walls with Ward. Walter was this deaf old guy. He couldn't talk, and he always say, 2-4, over there, 2-4, over there, 2x4, over there. And then there was...
When you finished high school, you'd only gone through 11th grade?
Yeah. And so when I went into Washington University as a sophomore, it was hard because I had basically not had the 12th year. So yeah, my freshman year was hard. I got low grades, and plus I was interested in a lot of different things. I took an architecture class, I took chemistry. No, I didn't know what I wanted to study. I did a class in sculpture. I also remember taking a drawing class at the Cooper Institute of Art in downtown Cleveland.
Rusty Hill, a Berea classmate. I can't tell you how sorry I am for you and your family regarding Brady's passing away, and how sad I've been since I read your email, Ted, early this morning. I had a foreboding sense of things when Brady headed over to Thailand this last time, but was always hopeful that somehow, some way, he would find that inner peace that would bring him some stability and happiness. My memories of Brady go back to Loomis School, Cub Scout meetings at your house, with the aquariums in the walls and the climbing rope on your porch. A favorite picture I have is of a big old Brady sitting on the floor of my house playing Pretty Princess with my daughter Katie when she was about 5, with him wearing plastic earrings and a tiara. Makes me smile to think about it. My heart goes out to you and your family. Brady once told me that he thought of me as a brother. I do wish I could have done more for him as his friend. Rusty Hill. Brady and I met very early in our freshman year at Washington University in St. Louis, September 1972. We remained friends throughout college. He was one of the brightest people I've ever met. At WashU, I majored in political science. Brady, he double majored in math and economics, two fields I struggled with in college. We got along very well. He and I remained in touch ever since. Shortly after he and I graduated from WashU, I visited Brady and your family in Berea for a few days. It was a fun visit. I met you, Ted, your mom, your sister Julie, and another time I met your brother Chris. You have a wonderful family. Again, I'm so sorry to hear this sad news about Brady, and I send you and your family my warmest condolences. Brady did share the view of the interesting path he chose, and I think he enriched the lives of his friends and family by sharing that view. He will indeed be missed. Dan Levin. Brady and I were grad school classmates at Wisconsin in economics in 1977-78. I got to know him somewhat during those days of study and was looking forward to more fun with him in subsequent years. However, he vanished in a puff of smoke in September 1978. I saw him again at a reunion a decade ago on the Union Terrace, and he was the same quirky, funny guy that I grew to like in my first year. I enjoyed Brady's company because he seemed to be able to produce an unlooked-for burst of enthusiasm and infectious laughter out of nowhere. As a result, life was more pleasanter with him around. He enlivened that year for me considerably. John Chapman. Finally, Frank wrote for all of the Brown family in Germany. We were on a family trip when we received the news of Brady's death in Thailand. We want to write about Brother Brady. That is what we all called him. When I first came to Berea in 1966, of the McCosco children, only Julie, Brady, and Ted lived in with the family on West Grand Street. It was my first meeting with the many members of the McCosco family. I vividly remember how Brady disliked being woken up in the morning for his paper route, and him sitting in the morning sun on the sidewalk, putting together newspapers and smiling. I liked his independent mind and his occasional refusal to adhere to conventional rules. At that time, Brady and I had many conversations about politics, history, culture, and music, and even when we disagreed, we agreed. 1979 was Iris's first visit to America, to her mother in Michigan and to her brother in Duluth. After that amount of family involvement, meeting McCoscos in Minneapolis was like coming home. Brady took us to a bluegrass concert and gave us his Honda to go out west. So it was Brady who made us see the Badlands, the Black Hills, Yellowstone Park, and Grand Teton. In 1996, at the Alphenalm in Austria, one afternoon a man walked up to us and asked us about the Brown family. It took us a few moments to recognize Brady because he looked very Bavarian indeed. Many people who rented old farmhouses there made music and played instruments. Brady was in the right place at the right time. Here are a few words from Brady's contribution to the Alm Diary. I'm glad I made it to the Alm this year because maybe because it's the last. Of course, Frank always says this. Iris and especially Frank are great hosts, and I didn't have to do anything but eat, drink, hike, and sleep. Plenty of sleep, which I'm particularly good at. I became an expert at hitchhiking from Ingervillegraten to Alm. Once I got picked up by an old guy who was so happy to meet an American. He was a World War II prisoner in Arizona and learned English there. Let's see. If there won't be another Alphen, then I'm sure another August vacation spot will be found where a good time will be had by all. Frank. Over the years, we received many emails from Brady, some of them containing details of exciting travel adventures, some a little confusing. His phone calls sometimes came at odd times. When our sons were living at home, in the morning they would tell us about long phone conversations that they had with Brady at midnight or 3 a.m. When Jacob, Benjamin, and Urs heard about Brady's death, they immediately sent messages to us in Istanbul. Once again, we've lost Brady, and this time, we have to look into our memories to find him. We miss him. I could find no one picture that is Brady. Perhaps we should just listen to him sing.
How sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace hath brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home.
Stop that. Isn't that nice to hear Brady's voice? I love his voice.